We would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the Fort Nelson First Nation. Good afternoon, graduates and honored guests. My name is Mrs. Sarah Toffelmeyer, and it is my honor to be your MC for the Fort Nelson Secondary School graduation ceremony of 2020. This is a moment that graduates have been looking forward to for the last 12 years. We have a very talented group of students, and I'm very excited to commemorate this occasion with you all. At this time, we would like to ask that you ensure that your cellular devices are off or on silent mode. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Fort Nelson Secondary School's graduating class of 2020. May Floor Owiesen. May plans to work for a while after graduation before pursuing her dream career in nursing or in pharmacology. Braden Barjett. Brady is glad to be done high school. He has no immediate plans and is going to take the year off. Bryson Bennett. Bryson plans to stay and work for a year, and then at 19, he will apply for the RCMP program. Once he has finished this program, he plans to work up the ranks to become a SWAT officer. Dean Bennett. Dean plans to play ball and have fun this summer, or in his words, hit the streets and see what happens. Kara Buchanan. Kara plans on working and then going to post-secondary for business administration. Shailene Chapizia Burton. Shailene is so happy to be graduated and plans to move to Fort St. John with her family for a while before traveling. Liam Callan. Liam plans on attending the University of Alberta to pursue a bachelor's degree in social work. Darby Cross. Darby plans on taking a year off from school to save up money before going into nursing in 2021. Capperdeep Dylan. Capper plans on staying in town for one last summer and spending a lot of time with his friends before moving to Surrey with his brother. Bethany Dickey. Bethany plans to stay in Fort Nelson for a year, then move away to attend post-secondary, but not sure what her area of focus will be yet. Sydney Driscoll. Sydney plans on moving to Vancouver to work for a year and then pursuing a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. Peyton Ducharme. After graduation, Peyton plans to attend the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology to study diagnostic medical sonography. Marcus Fell. Marcus plans to work for a year and then pursue a career in the trades as a millwright. Devin Griffith. After graduation, Devin plans to pursue a career in writing music. Sarah Hanneback. Sarah will be studying at the South Alberta Institute of Technology, working towards a diploma in information technology. Shelby Harlock. After graduation, Shelby will be attending the University of Alberta, working towards her Bachelor of Science degree. Sadie Humphreys. Sadie plans on joining the military in the fall/winter and see where that takes her. Tyler Kendall. After graduation, Tyler is hoping to stay in Fort Nelson and do electrical work to get his 4th class power engineering. Rachel Clausen. Rachel plans to take a gap year before going to college to continue her education in library science and information technology. Alyssa Mayer. Alyssa plans to take a year off to work, then attend Grand Prairie Regional College to achieve a diploma in business administration. Reese McLeod. Reese plans on enjoying summer in Fort Nelson before deciding on what comes next. Thomas Michelle. Thomas plans on taking a year off before going back to school. Rain Mould. Rain has been accepted to the University of Northern British Columbia in Prince George, where she plans to obtain a bachelor's degree and then specialize in family law. Cody Monroe. After graduation, Cody plans to stay and work for a year to save money before going to BCIT to get the qualifications to become a UI designer. Riley Noble. Riley plans to take a year off while doing courses online. Then he plans to attend Grand Prairie Regional College to further his education. Tyrell Noseworthy. Tyrell plans on pursuing a career in the music industry. Taylor Peddle. Taylor plans to attend university and take math and physics to eventually become a teacher. Marcy Rattray. Marcy is excited to finish high school and plans to enjoy her summer. Christopher Ryu. Chris is planning to move to Vancouver this Monday to learn the art of glazing and installing high-rise windows. Jeremy Salier. Jeremy plans to enjoy his summer and work. Ty Sims. Ty wants to go on to be a registered nurse after high school. His plan is to start school in September 2021. Donovan Scott. Donovan plans to move to Spirit River and work for a while before going to university. Dawson Spence. Dawson plans to work, make money, and build expensive vehicles. Tyler Trohack. Tyler is planning on starting post-secondary schooling at NAIT, pursuing an education in civil engineering. Rebecca Takoza. Rebecca is planning on enjoying her summer and using the time to consider her options for career choices before deciding on a path to pursue. Braden Van Duzy. Braden plans to get a job and save up, and then pursue a career as an oil rig operator. Dawson Woodworth. Dawson plans to study linguistics at the UBC campus in Vancouver after attaining his Bachelor of Arts degree. He hopes to work as a translator and interpreter in Canada and in overseas. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our graduating class of 2020. At this time, we would like to ask everyone to please rise for the playing of O Canada. please be seated? I would like to invite Mr. Theobald back to the stage to come and read the principal's address.
Right. I have to say it's kind of nice that I'm able to face you guys and see you this year. It's a nice change. So grads of 2020, honored guests and parents, families and friends, FNSS and SD81 staff, and community members joining us online today. It's a privilege and an honor for me to be here today to congratulate our graduates on their achievement. Grads, I'm sure you have heard it too many times by now, but I know that this is not necessarily the event that you wanted or that you deserved. At the same time, I'm grateful that we're able to be here together today and that we have the technology available to have so many joining us from both here in Fort Nelson and from afar. I must say that of any class to graduate this year, it is perhaps fitting that it is yours. While most grade 8s look a little shell-shocked and timid when they arrive at the high school, it has always stuck with me that you folks walked in these doors with confidence, looking like you were ready to own the halls. If any class could navigate through a grad year like this for the first time, it is perhaps yours. Those who know me well would say that finding something to talk about is not exactly a struggle for me. However, each year I do find it a challenge to write a speech for such a momentous occasion in our students' lives. When speaking to a grad class, there's an expectation that you will find inspiring quotes, some clever words of wisdom, perhaps a funny anecdote or two. And given that they publish my speech in the newspaper every year, I can't exactly reuse the same material. I found it even more daunting a task this year, given the extraordinary and challenging circumstances in which we find ourselves, until I realized that I could pass on some wisdom from two people who, in my mind, dealt with adversity better than anyone I know. Now, this is about to get personal for me, and as you've had me for your principal for 5 years, you're probably aware by now that's not necessarily my MO. So I'll warn you in advance that, I tend to get a titch emotional when I get personal. You may or may not be aware, but I generally sign my name to everything with my middle initial included, Mark A. Theobald. It may seem a bit pretentious to people, I'm sure, but my dad's first name was Alphonse, and I take my middle name after him. As an aside, my mom wanted my first name to be Alphonse, but my dad said no way in heck was one of his kids going to have the same first name as him. My dad died unexpectedly in an accident when I was just a kid. So virtually every time I sign my name, I'm reminded of my dad. And what I remember is that despite whatever challenges he faced in life, almost every memory I have of him is of his sense of humor and of his laughter. He grew up during the Depression, was conscripted into the military at age 14 during World War II, was faced with the resulting trauma of fighting in a war as a young teenager, found his way in a new country with a new language, and lost an 11-year-old son to cancer. My dad and his brother, my Uncle Henry, with whom he was very close, were legendary jokers, and their laughter could be heard from blocks away. That laughter carried them through so many of life's hardships. My dad's playfulness, smile, and laughter is the memory that sticks in my mind. So that, grads, is the first piece of advice I have for you. Wherever you find yourselves, look for the joy and humor that can be hidden away in even the most dark of places. I've been told I inherited my dad's laugh, and as my boss would likely tell you, I have an ability to laugh at just about any situation that I find myself in. It might seem like a little thing, but being able to laugh, including at ourselves, can help you to stay humble, not sweat the little things, to forgive others, and quite frankly, to maintain your sanity. So just after spring break, as I was reading through your survey responses, a response from one of your classmates here tonight reminded me that compassion was needed at this time. And so the second thing I want to speak to you is the importance of compassion, being able to look out for others, to put yourself in their shoes, and do your best to be there for them in the way that they need. The most compassionate person I've ever known was my mom. Even if she didn't see eye to eye with someone, my mom was always ready to offer a kind word or help if someone needed it. I lost my mom just over a year ago after a long battle to cancer. I spent weeks with her in hospice, and it was incredible to see in her last moments her making the effort to give a smile and a thank you to her nurses despite the discomfort she was in, or telling me to go back to sleep when I woke to check on her during the night. Right to the end, she did not stop thinking of others and what she had to offer them. So I want to say to you that your compassion for others, more than your career or your notoriety, is what will define who you are. The last time I saw my mom before she went into hospice, the last words she said to me were, "Look forward." There were times in my life I knew I had not been the best son I could have been. She knew I was struggling with this, and these words gave me the freedom to leave that past behind and to instead focus on what lay ahead. It was these words that gave me the strength to be beside her for weeks in hospice. So I want to say to each one of you today, look forward. We all make mistakes. We all have moments in our life we wish we could redo, but don't let those moments define you. Learn from them for sure, but live in the present moment, keeping your eyes to the future and the endless possibilities that it provides for doing things better, with more love, with more compassion, with more laughter. I'm sure that most of you are familiar with Linkin Park's song, "One More Light." So I want to finish by saying, grads of 2020, you may be just one more light in the sky with a million stars, but out here tonight, I see the potential for each of you to be the brightest and the most brilliant stars in that sky. Look forward, be compassionate to each other, laugh, and in the meantime, I'll be looking to the skies to see your brilliance shine forth. Congratulations, grads of 2020, well done.
I would like to welcome School District 81 Superintendent of Schools, Mrs. Diana Samchuk, to the stage to address the graduates.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the school district, I would like to congratulate our graduates of 2020. It's wonderful to be able to celebrate your achievements on this very special day. I would like to acknowledge that this is not just a high school graduation, but a family, community, and district-wide celebration of the accomplishments of these young people. Thanks go to all of you who've worked with, mentored, and supported our graduates. Congratulations, parents, community members, teachers, support staff, and administration. You've done a good job. This is a unique graduation ceremony because of the coronavirus pandemic and the public health guidelines on gathering of no more than 50 people. So it's understandably disappointing for you and your families when a highly anticipated celebration must change course. Many of you are sad and even angry over the restrictions of this pandemic. I know that you understand the sacrifices you are making are to benefit the larger community and the health and well-being of others, so thank you for doing your part. Graduates, you've earned those promised and anticipated celebrations. I hope that the activities planned for today will provide you with a different but important memory that you can look back on with the understanding and acceptance that people are rooting for you. The class of 2020 has always been a special group, a group known for their strong connections to each other, their support of each other, and their commitment to be there for each other. You have now completed your years of public schooling. You have shown that as individuals and as a group, you are resilient, independent, and strong. You have mastered both in-class and online learning. And let's not forget, this year, you also have mastered how to physically distance and how to wash your hands properly. So you're really ready for the future now. So stay connected with each other, even if it is virtually. It's important to maintain social connections, not only during times like this, but also into the future. Graduates, you have the power within you to succeed and accomplish your dreams. We expect to hear great things about your successes. Congratulations to each of you.
Next, I would like to welcome Ms. Linda Dolan, the Board of Trustees Chair, for the Board of Trustees address.
Good afternoon. Nezu Nekanita, which means it's good to see you all. We are gathered on the traditional territory of the Fort Nelson First Nations to witness one of life's celebrations for our graduates, their families, and this community. I offer our thanks to all the parents, relatives, staff, and community members that have supported you folks as you work towards your graduation. And I also would like to thank everybody who helped make this event happen. This has been an extraordinary year. The sacrifices and changes that we have been called upon to make for the good of us all will transform our society forever. Together we have learned new ways of thinking and behaving, and we have needed to adopt different strategies for getting things done, including making this celebration happen and making it an event to remember. I know that every person has a unique story to tell about their experiences during this global pandemic, but none more than this year's graduates. Experiences such as these open our eyes to the many possibilities and dreams. Graduates, your new dreams, your new possibilities, and your new tomorrows. Enjoy these celebrations, make some memories. I encourage you to write your experiences down. They will make for many interesting stories in the years to come. Some of you may even want to write some music about it, I hear. Go into the world and do well. But more importantly, go into the world and do good. And as your life moves forward, know that the only way to change the world is by being the best person you can be. Congratulations from the Board of Education. May this be one of many accomplishments. And in Dr. Henry's words, be kind, be calm, and be safe. We wish you many successes.
Next, I would like to welcome Mayor Foster to the stage to address the graduates.
Thank you. This afternoon, our MLA, Dan Davies, was not available, but he did send me a note to pass on for him. He said, on behalf of myself and the province of British Columbia, congratulations to all the graduates of 2020. You've all worked hard, and now you have the tools to follow your chosen path and the next chapter. Be open to new ways of learning, fresh ideas, and never give in to self-imposed limitations. Well done to each and every one of you, MLA Dan Davies. Bob Zimmer also wasn't able to attend. I believe he's in Ottawa. To the Fort Nelson 2020 graduation class, first of all, I would like to thank all the parents, relatives, friends, and teachers who helped you make this the important day of your lives. Where would we be without the love and support over the past many years? Remember to thank them personally and sincerely. Now for some friendly advice that has served me so well in life. I would never have dreamed I would be a member of Parliament at my graduation. I was just hoping I was going to graduate. That said, after a lot of hope and work, here I am. Live a life of purpose. Don't expect an easy road. Don't avoid the tough days. Don't expect someone will do the work for you, but outwork the next person. Face life's challenges head on. It's when the days get tough, and they will, that the tough get going. It's then that you'll find your dreams are just around the corner. From my family and staff to all of you, congratulations. Be safe in celebrating today. We need you in the future. God bless. Bob Zimmer, Member of Parliament, Prince George, Peace River, Northern Rockies. I want to thank Ellie DeRose-Gagne today for inviting me here to speak at your graduation. Graduation from high school is a milestone that signifies a new beginning for each of you. From this point on, you begin to make your own decisions about your own life and the life you will lead. From here, you make decisions about your career path, who you'll marry, and about who you want to be. I want you to give some thought to your role in your community's future as well. You're starting this journey at a time when the challenges to all of us are like nothing we've ever seen before. COVID-19 has set the world back on its heels in a way none of us could have expected. But it's not the only challenge we face. Today, we see not only louder voices, but a renewed desire to seek a more fair and equitable distribution of wealth in our society where the top 1% doesn't dictate to the rest of us. People, more than ever before, want to participate in our shared democracy, where everyone has a say and a role in our governance. You should join them. We see more and greater environmental awareness. Society is recognizing that we can't keep pumping CO2 into our atmosphere without severe and global consequences. You should add your voice to this challenge. Above all else, an end to discrimination, whether that discrimination is against religious minorities or cultural minorities or based on someone's sexual orientation. You need to speak out about these issues. So what can we do in the face of these global issues, these massive problems that many people feel are the problems of nations? The answer is we can do a lot. And you need to be part of that solution. My council and I are increasing participation in our local democracy by live streaming our council meetings. You no longer have to come in person to a council meeting. You can watch the business of the municipality from the comfort of your home. And further, anyone who has an opinion on an issue that comes before your local government is encouraged and welcome to our meetings. And I make my phone number available to the public, and anyone here today can phone me anytime. Second, we're diverting waste at our landfill to minimize the impact on the environment through vermicomposting. There will be many more steps in the future on the environmental front, and you need to be part of those solutions. And last, ending discrimination doesn't start in Ottawa. It starts in our own community. Council and I raised a flag of Fort Nelson First Nations along with Chief Gale at the Rec Center last July as a symbol that we're two people with two very different histories, but we're one community, and we'll move forward into the future together, and you need to be part of that shared future. We painted a rainbow crosswalk by the Rec Center as a symbol that this community welcomes people regardless of their sexual orientation, and you need to be part of speaking out against this discrimination. Your participation in our community is vital. The decisions can't be left to old people with gray hair trying to solve the same old problems in the same old way. It requires you to add your voice to how your community moves forward. And you don't have to be a straight A student, you just have to be involved. That involvement can come through participations in organizations like the Library Board, the Chamber of Commerce, the Rotary Club, the Literacy Society, the Hospital Foundation, Hospice, Takashi Animal Rescue, and even around our council table. There's a host of other organizations throughout our community that you can be involved in. There's a lot of good you can do in your community by actively participating in decision-making. You bring the change that's needed. It's constructive, it's beneficial, and it's worth the effort. I hope you'll give some thought to your contribution to the community, whether it's the community of the Northern Rockies or far from here. But as a caution, if you decide to become involved in local government, there are some who might say mean things about you. And they might say things that aren't even true. But I think of the words of Mother Teresa. If you're kind, some people will think you have an ulterior motive. Be kind anyway. If you are honest, some people will cheat you. Be honest anyway. If you build something, some people might tear it down. Build it anyway. In the end, it's not about those people. It's about you and the person you see in the mirror every morning. Thank you very much for inviting me here today, and congratulations.
Please welcome Chief Charlene Gale to the stage to address the graduates.
Good evening. Respected teachers, principals, administrators, leaders, and other guests in attendance. We have gathered here today to bid farewell to the graduation students of 2020. I am indeed honored to be given this opportunity to represent the Fort Nelson First Nations Chief and Council and to wish all the grads the best in their future endeavors. Every graduate here today is deserving of high praise and recognition, and I would like to congratulate each and every one of you on reaching this milestone in life. This is a moment that you have worked so hard for, and we are so proud of you and your accomplishments. I would like to express a heartfelt thank you to all your teachers and your parents who have taught you for their endless support, patience, and guidance. They have generously provided you this over years and watched you grow, and I know they too are very, very proud of all of you. We pray that the Creator guides you and guards you. As you undertake this new and exciting journey in life, live life to the fullest. Take chances, reach for the stars, and follow your dreams. The opportunities are endless. Lastly, on behalf of the Chief and Council and the Community Education Authority, I would like to present our grads with a gift to celebrate this amazing accomplishment. So at this time, I'd like to ask Bethany Dickey, Thomas Michelle, and Jared Cochier to come up at this time. Congratulations, we're so proud of you.
I would like to welcome the Prophet River Council member Cherie Reno to the stage to address the graduates.
Jehanache. On behalf of Prophet River First Nations, I would like to congratulate Shailene Chapizia Burton. Would you like to come up and receive your incentive? On behalf of Prophet River First Nations, I would like to congratulate Rebecca DeCoza. Congratulations, class of 2020, Wunjo Asanala.
The time has come to recognize the achievements and accomplishments of many of our graduating students through the awarding of scholarships and bursaries. This year, we had 36 different scholarships and bursaries for our grads. These awards are very much appreciated by our graduates as they go off to pursue their dreams and career ambitions. A huge thank you goes out to Ms. Carrie Larson, the FNSS Scholarship Coordinator, for the hours of work she put into organizing and preparing these awards. Yeah. I would like to call Mrs. Sarah Jane Attrell up to the stage to help with the presentation of scholarships. Our first award is the BPOE Elks of Fort Nelson Bursary. The Fort Nelson Elks awards this $1,000 bursary, to an honor roll student who has demonstrated leadership in citizenship and has given as a volunteer in their community. This year's recipient is Peyton Ducharme. Our next award is the Mark Breton Memorial Bursary. In memory of a well-loved teacher and community member, this $500 bursary is going to a graduating student who is active in sports and is entering into education, recreation, physical education, leisure studies, or kinesiology. The student has shown the ability to make a positive academic and personal choice no matter what the circumstance they face. This year's recipient is Riley Noble. Our next award is the City Furniture and Appliances Scholarship. The City Furniture and Appliances Scholarships are valued at $1,000 each and are given to students entering university or trade school. This year's 2 recipients are Sarah Hannebeck and Shelby Harlock. Our next award is the CUPE Local 2167 Scholarship. These $500 scholarships are given to students with good academic standing going into a CUPE career-oriented post-secondary program. Both award recipients are CUPE members. This year's recipients are Rain Mold and Riley Noble. Our next award is the District Authority Awards. The Dogwood District Authority Awards are given by the BC Ministry of Education to very deserving students who have been highly successful in non-academic areas of study, such as fine arts, applied arts, second languages, and physical activity. The students are required to create a portfolio for the selection committee. Each award is valued at $1,250. We have 4 recipients this year. This year's recipients are Darby Cross, Sarah Hannebeck, Shelby Harlock, and Dawson Woodworth. Next is the Dr. Casa Memorial Annual Health Scholarship. The Dr. Casa Memorial Annual Health Scholarship, valued at $2,000, is offered by the Northern Rockies Regional District. It is awarded to a student entering a post-secondary health-related program. The recipient must demonstrate positive community involvement and have been a positive role model in both the school and the community. This year's recipient is Sydney Driscoll. Next is the Dr. Mostert Annual Health Scholarship. The Dr. Mostert Annual Health Scholarship is also valued at $2,000 and is offered by the Northern Rockies Regional District. It is awarded to a student entering a post-secondary health-related program. The recipient must demonstrate positive community involvement and have been a positive role model in both the school and the community. This year's recipient is Peyton Descharmes. Our next award is the Down to Earth Health Shop Scholarship. Donated by Kim Gillette and Kevin Friesen, this $1,000 scholarship is intended for a graduate with good academic standing and a healthy lifestyle who is heading into natural health, nutrition, environmental science, or a renewable resources field. This year's recipient is Tyler Trohack. Our next award is the Fort Nelson District Administrators Association Scholarship. The district administrators give this $500 scholarship to a graduate who has achieved a minimum of a B average in grades 11 and 12 and plans to enter any post-secondary program. This year's recipient is Sydney Driscoll. Next is the Fort Nelson District Teachers Association Scholarship. The FNDTA presents this $1,500 scholarship to a graduating student pursuing a teaching career. They must demonstrate leadership, effective communication skills, and have good grades. This year's recipient is Taylor Peddle. Next is the Fort Nelson Firefighters Union Local 2782 Scholarship. This $500 bursary is awarded to a student who is entering the emergency services field and has been a volunteer in the community. This year's recipient is Darby Cross. Our next award is the Fort Nelson Minor Hockey Association Bursary. This bursary is valued at $500. It is awarded to a student enrolling in a sports and/or recreation field. Preference is given to a graduate who is involved in sports and rec in Fort Nelson. If no student is pursuing sports and rec, it'll be awarded to the most qualified applicant. This year's recipient is Kapradeep Dillon. Next is the Fort Nelson Petroleum Association Bursary. The Petroleum Association gives us $1,000 bursary to a student entering in a petroleum-related program. If no graduate is entering this area, it will be given to one entering a post-secondary trades program. This year's recipient is Tyler Trohack. Next is the Fort Nelson Women of Industry Scholarship. This $1,000 scholarship is awarded to a young woman who demonstrates strength and balance in her life and has shown leadership in her chosen area. Preference is given to graduates entering fields related to forestry or oil and gas industries or a field that supports these industries. This year's recipient is Marcy Rattray. Our next award is the Fort Nelson Yeti Legacy Scholarships. These two $500 scholarships are given out by the Fort Nelson Yeti Hockey Club. They are given to one male and one female graduate going on to post-secondary school who have achieved high academic standing while being involved in both high school and community sports during their high school careers. This year's two recipients are Rain Mold and Riley Noble. Our next award is the Friends of Rachel Scholarship. These two $250 scholarships are given to graduates who have demonstrated a leadership role within the school and in the community. They uphold the values that Rachel promoted. They must also have been attending FNSS for at least 2 years and are pursuing post-secondary education in any field. This year's recipients are Liam Callan and Riley Noble. Our next award is the Jean Gardner CPA Memorial Scholarship, sponsored by MNP. This $1,000 award is given by MNP in memorial of Jean Gardner. It is given to a student entering into a business program, preferably into the accounting field. This year's recipient is Alyssa Mayer. Our next award is the Greg Growing Memorial Scholarship. In memorial of a much-loved and respected FNSS teacher, this $1,000 scholarship is awarded to an FNSS student entering post-secondary education who demonstrates a working knowledge of and love for the outdoors and displays determination and perseverance towards their career goals. The applicant must write an essay describing their working knowledge and love of the outdoors and how they have demonstrated perseverance towards their career. This year's recipient is Tyler Trohak. Our next award is the Teresa Godber Memorial Nursing Scholarship. This $500 scholarship has been donated by the Godber family in memory of a well-respected nurse and community member. It is awarded to a graduating student entering a nursing program at a college or university who has demonstrated determination and perseverance, as well as been a leader and a volunteer within their community. This year's recipient is Darby Cross. Our next award is the Harris & Co. Law 12 Award. This $200 award goes to a student who's excelled in History 12, as Law 12 was not offered this year, and is entering a recognized post-secondary institution, college, or university. This year's recipient is Shelby Harlick. Our next award is the Huskies Student Athlete Scholarship. This $500 scholarship is awarded to a student attending a post-secondary school. Emphasis is given to physical education and other related course marks, participation in the extracurricular sports program, dedication and commitment to their sport, as well as leadership or volunteer work off the court, and has contributed to their sport. This year's recipient is Kapradeep Dillon. Next is our Carl Lowe Memorial Bursary. The Lowe family gives this $300 bursary in memory of Carl. It goes to a student who is entering an apprenticeship program or training. This year's recipient is Marcy Rattray. Next award is the Frida Murin Bursary. These two $250 bursaries are given by the Fort Nelson Mental Health and Addiction Services Advisory Committee in memory of Frida Murin. They go to students who have experienced adversity, had financial need, plan to pursue post-secondary education or trades, show determination and perseverance, and is motivated to succeed in their chosen career. The students have had to submit a 500-word essay as part of applying for this scholarship. This year's recipients are Alyssa Mayer and Taylor Peddle. Our next award is the Northeastern BC Wildlife Scholarship. This $2,500 scholarship is offered to a graduate planning to study wildlife and resource management, environmental studies, or a related field at an accredited post-secondary institution. This year's recipient is Tyler Trohack. Our next award is the Northern Opportunities Enbridge Award. The Northern Opportunities Enbridge Bursary is designed to recognize the accomplishments and support the training of students in northeastern British Columbia who are registered in Northern Opportunities Dual Credit Program. The recipient of this $1,000 award is pursuing a trades program in Northern Lights College as part of their high school graduation plan. This year's recipient is Tyler Kendall. Our next award is the Northern Rockies Regional Municipality Administrative Bursary. This bursary is valued at $1,000. It is awarded to a student entering a program leading to employment in municipal government in an administrative-oriented occupation. This year's recipient is Alyssa Mayer. Our next award is the Northern Rockies Regional Municipality Management Group Scholarship. Offered by the Town of Fort Nelson Management Group, this $1,000 scholarship is awarded to a son or daughter of a member who has good academic standing and is entering a full-time government or administrative-oriented post-secondary training or certificate program. This year's recipient is Sarah Hannaback. Our next award is the Northern Rockies Regional Municipality Technical Training Bursary. This bursary is valued at $1,000. It is awarded to a graduate entering a program leading to employment in technically oriented occupations, which would lead itself to employment in a municipality-related career or profession. This year's recipient is Tyler Trohack. Our next award is the Rotary Club of Fort Nelson Scholarship. This scholarship is valued at $1,500. It is presented to a student entering a recognized post-secondary program who has been involved in the community in a service capacity, exemplifies school citizenship, and has maintained a good academic standing. This year's recipient is Taylor Peddle. Our next award is the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Scholarships. The RCMP presents these two $1,000 scholarships to graduating students going into a post-secondary trade program and a university program. The winners of these scholarships have been found to demonstrate citizenship, strong moral character, and community involvement, as well as having a clear criminal record. These also have high academic achievements attached. We have two recipients. Our first recipient is Madison Olson, who received her award at her Toad River graduation earlier this week, and Sarah Hannaback. Our next award is Salas Safety Solutions Scholarship Fund. Sala Safety Solutions awards this $1,500 scholarship to an all-around student pursuing university training. They need to have shown determination, perseverance, drive, and focus, as well as having shown leadership in and out of school. This year's recipient is Dawson Woodworth. Our next award is the John Streepers Scholarship Fund. This $1,500 scholarship is given to a student continuing on in trades education or an apprenticeship program who demonstrates perseverance and determination. This year's recipient is Sarah Hanneback. Our next award is the Jim Thompson Bursary. This $250 bursary is awarded to an FNSS graduate who has good academic achievement and good citizenship. Priority is given to a student who is continuing their education at Northern Lights College in a non-university transfer program. If no one is entering NLC, it'll be awarded to a student enrolled in a college or technical program. This year's recipient is Sarah Hanneback. Next is our Judy Watson Bursary. This $200 bursary is awarded to a student enrolling in a post-secondary institution who has good citizenship, has shown a good work effort throughout the year, and has good academic standing. This year's recipient is Liam Callan. Our last award of this afternoon is the Western Communities Foundation's Exceptional Achievement Bursary. This $750 bursary is given to a student who has overcome adversity, financial hardship, or family issues. They have displayed outstanding community and school spirit and have demonstrated inspirational conduct, acts of heroism, or shown leadership in a crisis. This year's recipient is Sarah Hanneback. On behalf of School District 81, we would like to congratulate all of this year's scholarship and bursary recipients. Preparing applications is a very intensive process. The students put a lot of time and energy in preparing their packages. Well done to all who took the time to apply. We'd also like to thank the scholarship and bursary donors for your tremendous generosity. Your support goes a long way in helping our students be successful in their future endeavors. Every year, the graduating class nominates and selects a guest speaker to give a speech at their graduation ceremony. This is someone who the class identifies well with, has a lasting relationship, and feels will represent them best as a whole. No pressure, right? This year, Mr. Pat Nelson has been selected to give the speech. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Nelson.
Thank you, graduates. Thank you for asking me to speak to you today at this most unusual graduation. But this celebration is not about the last few months. No, it's about the last 13 years. So let's take a moment and think back to your first day of kindergarten. You were small children, full of energy and excitement. And recall when you came to the high school, larger children, now full of energy, excitement, and hormones. That's when I got to meet most of you. I got to know you as I tried to improve your typing speed and teach you how to program a computer. Later, as I tried to teach you about compound interest, gear ratios, and projectile motion, I saw you grow from children into the young adults I see here. Regardless of how many classes you took from me, there is one thing I know about each of you. Every person here has earned this day. You have earned this celebration. As I look at the class of 2020, I clearly see the years of effort that have led to this day, to this moment when you received a piece of paper saying you were done high school, that you are now adults. But before you complete that transition from being my students to being my peers, let me take this one last opportunity to ramble at you. I'll start with a piece of advice. Floss regularly. The importance of flossing in terms of gingivitis and cavity prevention is undeniable. The easiest advice I can offer to improve your life is floss regularly. It will save you time, money, and a lot of pain. Graduates, this is a time of great uncertainty. For you, for our world, and specifically for our community. The adult world you enter is profoundly different from the one of 5 years or even 5 months ago. I know this has personally affected many of you as you plan for post-secondary and look for work. I would love to tell you that everything will be all right. But this is what we tell children, and you are no longer children. What I can do is quote Chumbawamba. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You are never going to keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You are never going to keep me down. There will be hard times ahead, but I know you, and I know you are strong enough to rise to each challenge you will face. But that isn't enough. Today, I want to tell you that simply overcoming the challenges the world gives you is not enough. Consider a great mountain. You might use all your strength and abilities to climb it, and what I'm saying is that isn't enough. You need to not only climb, but as you climb, you need to hammer in anchors and secure ropes for the next climber. You need to clear debris and leave trail markers. When you are gone from the mountain, it should have been improved. The world today is an undeniably better place than it was 100 years ago because we have created amazing technologies, because we have cured diseases, and because we have become more tolerant. You, graduates, are now a part of that we, and every one of you has a responsibility to ensure the world continues to improve. This is the great responsibility we share, but it need not be overwhelming. Simply work hard on things that have meaning, and when you see something broken, fix it. In summary, floss regularly and find ways to improve the world. Do both every day, for in the words of Annie Dillard, how we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. Graduates of 2020, I'm so happy I got to work with you the past 5 years. I'm so proud to see you moving on to the next stages of your life, and I am so excited to see what you will accomplish. I want to end today by telling you that you are no longer students, and so I am no longer Mr. Nelson. When we see each other again, please call me Pat. Thank you.
This year's This year, the grad class has nominated and selected a student to represent them as their valedictorian for this graduation ceremony. This is quite an honor, and this year's selected student has stepped up to the challenge of writing a speech and reading it in front of their peers. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Tyler Trohack.
Okay, here we go. Let's get right into it. Good evening, honored guests that are watching, guests, teachers, staff, friends, parents, my mom, Dawn, and my father, Randy. I hope I made them proud here today. And of course, the class of 2020. 2020, how lucky we all are, eh? No, seriously, we should be grateful that we're graduating this year. Like 2020, what other grad class will be able to say they graduated the same year Australia was burning down, the world was going on lockdown because of a pandemic, for God's sake, and our downstairs neighbor, America, they're undergoing a total, social reform. Like, no other grad class can say that. Yeah, our grad class was cut short, robbing us of our final moments at school, a proper graduation, and some even their last hockey tournament. But we're still graduating. But how did we get here? I know that 5 years ago when we began our journey in high school, we never envisioned it ending like this. And we didn't know a lot at the time, but thankfully we had a collection of teachers and staff willing to help us with that. It's impossible to talk about the teachers that guide our way to where we are today without mentioning Miss Toff, though. The teacher who ran our class with an iron fist and gave us the wake-up call to the reality of high school. I'll be honest, at the time many students resent how strict she was, but she always told us that one day we would thank her for everything she did for us. And I would like to say today, thank you, Miss Toff, for what you did. It meant a lot for seeing a teacher care that much about the students that she taught. I still get a little scared when I make a loud noise in her hallway too, because you think she's gonna come out yelling at you. And of course we have Mr. Nelson, the man who just talked. A great teacher who puts so much passion into every lesson that it's infectious. You have a hard time trying not to do good in his class because of just reflecting off the love he gives for his teaching. And of course, he also taught us that if anyone trying hard enough can rock an amazing set of dreadlocks. Good job, Mr. Nelson. Then we have Mr. Keller. He taught us about American politics, the fact that Pepsi's a suitable replacement for water, and that the holidays are meant to be spent watching Rambo and eating Chinese food. He also taught us English and social studies, and somehow managed to make it somewhat interesting with daily tangents and topical rants every day. Finally, we have Mr. Sutherland. Mr. Sutherland taught us from early on that nothing in life will ever be 100% perfect, especially not your little wooden whistle that you made in grade 8. I tried. I would also like to take a moment and thank all the teachers, staff, and community members that helped shape us into who we are today. Thank you. We wouldn't be here without you. Also, special thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Goff. We went down to GWC the other day, and they're still just as nice as they were over a decade ago now. It's weird to say. During our time at FNSS, though, some of us experienced the best of times, and for some, even the worst of times. But one of the great things about living in a small, close-knit community, it feels like the people that care about you are never too far away. Being raised in a small community also gave us the chance to make our impact on the people around us. Look at the kids at Arl Angus. They probably still can't use microwaves after Liam's pencil incident. I know that I'm going to miss, here we are, just wait. The size of our school and our community also allowed us to form relationships and memories that we're going to carry with us for the rest of our lives. And I know I'm going to miss sitting in the MPA talking to TK about the newest song he found or the newest shirt he ordered, or Riley updating me on the San Jose Sharks. But high school's over now. We're moving on to the next stage of our lives. Our class of 2020 will naturally separate going into the future from here on out. Some of us will pursue education at a college or university, while others will enter the workforce and learn about create a career. From today on, many of us will leave this town chasing opportunities that present themselves to us, and many of us will leave thinking that we're never going to come back. But who knows? In 5 years, TK could be the local electrician. Riley will probably still be coaching little kids hockey every day. And if you go to the hospital, you may see Payne working the ultrasound. And in the fall, who knows, you may see Mr. Pell welcoming his own class here next year or in the future. Then there's me. Honestly, I don't have a beautifully laid out plan for my future. Probably the most unorganized person in our class, but here I am speaking about the future of people who have their lives together. Although many others are more qualified than me to give out advice regarding this, I would like to hand out one last piece of advice for the graduating class of 2020. No matter where you are, what you're doing, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you're giving it your all. Do your best. We just graduated. Now's our time to make our mark and live our lives. This is what we've been working for. In the words of Dave Chappelle, you kids are excellent drivers, and I'm comfortable in the back seat. We're driving now. Might as well go. Now I would just like to say congratulations, class of 2020. We made it.
Okay, next up, we're going to be setting up and showing the baby slideshow presentation. Yay! And I'm going to stand here awkwardly until that happens. Oh, you don't want me to tell a joke? No. No, there's no joke. Sorry. I'm a science teacher, not a... You make one up. Okay. Womp womp. You're right. 100%. No. Okay. Okay. We're in business. I'll find out. please rise for the playing of God Save the Queen? Ladies and gentlemen, for the final time, the Fort Nelson Secondary School graduating class of 2020, toss your caps. Go. This concludes the graduation ceremony 2020. Thank you to all who are involved in making this event run smoothly. Thank you to the parents at home and everyone else who tuned in to view the FNSS 2020 graduation ceremony. Just a reminder that the grad parade will be starting at 3:30 and leaving from FNSS and including at approximately 4:30 at the Rec Center. Graduates, if you could please make your way outside to have your photos taken with Tracy and then proceed to the grad parade. Once again, congratulations.